welcome, you guys. Welcome. Good morning. Share, share, share. Swipe to the right from the bottom to the top. Let's share. Let's go ahead. We're going to get started in about a minute. Today is Freedom Friday. Thank you, Sister Candace, for sharing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's share, 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 brothers and sisters. This is where we talk about the game of money. The game of money. Today is Freedom Friday. We won't talk about freedom. Freedom, financial freedom. Freedom of our minds, freedom of our actions, freedom to believe that we can be all we can be. We can be all that we see other people are being, and then some. All right. So let's go ahead and share it, brothers and sisters. We're going to get started in about 30 minutes. We need to get this count to double digits. Double digits. So I need for everybody to participate. First by sharing. Second by giving the hearts. First by sharing. Secondly by giving the hearts. All right, good morning, Meerkat. Go ahead and restream over there, Meerkat. You know what to do. Go ahead and restream if you're there on Meerkat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Friday, Freedom Friday. All right, brothers and sisters, need your help. We need your help. If this is your first time here, go ahead and put your name, what city you're from. Go ahead and introduce yourself to those that are here and those that are going to watch on the replay. All right. All right, we got the Meerkatters in the house again today. They missed out on Wednesday question and answer, everything money. All right, thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Now let's share, share, share. I need for everybody to share. But since we're talking about money, we're talking about the money game. Everybody plays it. But everybody doesn't want to learn how to play it to win. They just like just playing it. I guess they play the money game as a hobby. But when you play the money game as a hobby, for leisure, for just pure fun, then you automatically lost at playing the money game. All right? Because the money game is not meant to be played for fun. It's meant to be played to win, and you make winning fun. All right, make winning fun. There's no fun in losing. Thank you, Brother Eugene. Thank you very much. For those who've been taught or believe or subscribe to the ideal of it's okay to lose. That is not one of the rules of those who win at the money game. All right, so let's go ahead. Go ahead and get started here, brothers and sisters. We've been having on the money game, hashtag black dollar, hashtag black wealth, hashtag black economy. All of it, not just the money game piece, but all of it. And you want to take it further in the conversation, take it further into action, take it further into collaboration, take it further in uniting. Then here's what you need to do. You need to go to DarrellMuhammad.net. Make sure you get on the VIP list because we're gonna start having private live gatherings, private live meetings, right? And live meeting, we're talking about conference calls and webinars. All right. To meet me on social media, this is where everything is Darrell Muhammad. All right. Everything is Darrell Muhammad. Sister Candace or someone, please put this information in there, my web address, so they can get the spelling right. But Periscope, Twitter, Darrell Muhammad. Snapchat, chat, Darrell Muhammad. What else? Blab, Darrell Muhammad. Facebook, Darrell Muhammad fan page. Darrell Muhammad fan page. All right. So that's where you can reach me, brothers and sisters, because I'm looking for those that are looking for me. Thank you very much, Sister Candace. I'm looking for those who are looking for a message like this and want to help to resonate. Hey, Brother Aaron, who want this message to get out, right? Here's one thing that you have to understand, brothers and sisters. If you're not brave enough, strong enough, courageous enough to be the forerunner, then hopefully we're intelligent enough, smart enough, understand our collective self-interest enough to support those who are brave enough and courageous enough to be the front runner. See, that's what we have to understand. See, once again, the rules of the money game to win, playing them knowing the rules to win. Thank you, Aaron. And not to lose is to understand that you have two roles to play. You really have two choices if you're going to win. One, you can be the fourth runner, the forerunner, right? Or you can support those who have taken that position. But to do nothing, you've lost already. You've lost already. All right. So today, brothers and sisters, the money game on Fridays, we talk about freedom. Today is Freedom Friday, right? Black folks, in my opinion, we don't spend enough focus on freedom. We say civil rights, and we say social rights, and we say economics, and we say education, and we say cultural expression, right? We got to get back to freedom. Freedom. Until we have broken the chains of slavery, right? Now we're enslaved, meaning our minds are enslaved. We're no longer in physical slavery. Our minds are enslaved. So until we can break out of that, okay, then we need to focus on freedom, right? If your focus is getting out of the cage, then your focus should stay on getting out of the cage and being unrestricted to do what's in your collective best interest, then we are yet still a slave or enslaved. All right, brothers and sisters. So we want to talk about Fridays, Freedom Friday. And it does, see, when you encapsulate freedom, understanding freedom, then that includes everything else, right? That includes everything else. So you go from freedom as the nucleus to financial freedom. Freedom from the nucleus to educational freedom. Freedom in the nucleus to social freedom. But we try to come around the back door, right? We come around social, right? We come around cultural. We come around financial to get to freedom. And what happens many times is we don't make it to freedom. We get stuck on that money road. Right? We get on that money road and things start working for us. We start making money. We're not as hungry as anymore, as Les Brown says it. You have to be hungry, Les Brown says, right? We're not hungry anymore. We got a little food in our bellies now. So we slow down. Right? We want to reward ourselves. We want to take a break. We want to look around and see from which we've come. You do that after you've reached freedom. You do that after you've accomplished your ultimate goal. If not, you're constantly in pursuit of that goal. That's what separates the winners from the losers. The winners from the losers. I remember when I was playing golf real heavy, when Tiger Woods was at his peak, and I used to go play golf with my buddy Booker T, the wrestler, and they were saying they was just mesmerized by Tiger's greatness at the time. And I heard one of the sportscasters says the thing about Tiger is, because he was breaking all these Jack Nicklaus, winning streaks and all these other people. And they were saying the thing that makes Tiger great is Tiger's not focusing on beating records. Tiger is focusing on being the very best Tiger can be. And in the process, he's breaking records. See? Being the best he can be, being a master of golf, being a god of the golf game, right? Freedom, when you're a master, freedom comes with it. When you become a god, meaning nobody else on the planet can beat you, you are a god at what you do, small G-O-D, then you're free. It gives a certain high level of freedom. So if we want to be free, brothers and sisters, we have to seek to be all that God has created us to be as individuals. And he never did that for us to stay confined to our own personal achievements. Excuse me, our own personal agenda. Us just looking out for ourselves and maybe our families. Indefinitely not our community. You just need a few of us to be concerned about the black community economically, to go out and get others in your city that think like you. See, we operate many times from this from this misunderstanding that you need a lot of people. You don't need a lot of people. You just need a few of the right people. So never have you seen any mass movement that was led by the masses of the people. It's always a few, a handful that come together, and then the masses follow behind them. That's why you only know of Dr. King and Malcolm X and Honorable Elijah Muhammad and those Stokely Carmichael. You know, there was others with them, but they were the foremost, right? And you always recognize and you always remember the one that leads the charge. The one that leads the charge. Then you have to think about those who are his companions, because they all have companions. We're talking about Freedom Friday, brothers and sisters. We're talking about the idea and concept of freedom, so we can apply that same concept to all the other areas of our lives, not just financial freedom. All right? Because remember, like I just said, we focus on financial freedom and we focus on the financial piece, right? Not understanding that we need to focus on understanding and crystallizing the freedom part in our minds. Because see, you're first free in your mind. I saw Steve Harvey on Periscope. He was at Disney, and he talked about how Walt Disney, right, envisioned Disneyland and Disney World in his mind first. So when you get in the science of creation, you know you create things 3 times. You create things 3 times, right? You create them in your mind. You create them on a piece of paper, right? And with your words. And you create them, physically create them. You physically create them. So creation is a 3-step process. See, these are the things you have to understand before you understand how do I create wealth. Well, you have to understand the 3 steps of creation before I create financial freedom. Well, we have to understand freedom. What is freedom? What does freedom look like? Because what happens is we'll come around the back through the financial freedom, through the financial door, right? And we start reaching some success and we get lost, distracted, deterred off of the road and focus and push and drive for freedom. Then those who have money, who look for people that are on the freedom path, are enemies. They'll come with a whole bunch of money and give it to us like they did Jesus, right? Satan took Jesus to the top of a mountain and told him to look over the entire city and say, you can have all of this, Jesus, if you just bow down to me. But Jesus was focused on freedom, freeing the people from the grips of Satan, right? Not financial freedom, because if it was finance first, freedom second, then he might have would have bitten off the offer from Satan. So we start down that road of financial, then freedom, right? And to the extent that we rise up, you know, we elevate, we do things in a very big way to where we start getting attention of wanted and unwanted attention. Then the enemy comes and offers you something. Why don't you run for office? I'll back you. We need a candidate just like you. See, so it gets you pulled into that political game, which is a bunch of BS, right? It's a bunch of BS, right? So, brothers and sisters, we're talking about Freedom Friday. Freedom Friday. Now, Mondays is what? Money Mindset Mondays. Tuesdays and Thursdays are Tactical Tuesdays, where I give you some skill set, right? And then Wednesday is Question and Answer. Everything money, question and answers. And then Friday is Freedom Friday. That's the schedule here at the Money Game. TMG. I'm going to see if I can get a jacket like Mayweather. He got TMT. See if we can get some TMG hats and jackets and all that good stuff. All right. So Freedom Friday, brothers and sisters, Freedom Friday. The first thing we have to do, as we also always say, is free our minds and free our focus off of things that are disempowering. free our focus off of things that are disempowering. Here is something that came out of Fortune, off of Fortune.com. Fortune magazine is a magazine that wealthy people read, right? You have to understand, brothers and sisters, that those are in the know. They communicate to their group of people that are in the inner circles, in the private inner circles. They send messages to them through specific publications. Fortune magazine or Fortune.com, their web version, is one. Financial Times is another. Forbes is another one. So you should be linked into those, right? You should be. Bloomberg is another one. You should make sure on Facebook you go to those that I've just mentioned and you like their page, so now their information can show up on your feed. Not for your guests, but for you. That's your feed. But here's an article that somebody, Chris Matthews, wrote, October 15th, 2015. How screwed is America's middle class anyway? All right. It's a couple of pages. Go ahead and read it for yourself. We're talking about freedom, right? Freedom Friday. Freedom Fridays. So for the mere fact that question would be asked, for the mere fact that the editors at Fortune.com would proof it and read it and allow it to be printed on the website, and for it to be printed on the website says something. They're trying to send a message to those constituents, if you will, or those who read, who subscribe and read to Fortune.com. Fortune.com. They're putting a question out there, and then he's putting some statistics out there for you to see the picture, to see the actual statistics, so you can answer that question for yourself. And if you say, no, the middle class is not screwed, then you're going to act accordingly. If you say, yes, the middle class is screwed, then you should act a certain kind of way. See, so these are the things that will help us with this understanding of freedom. See, in freedom. Once you understand, brothers and sisters, that America is in $19 trillion debt that they would admit, and $70 trillion worth of debt that they won't admit, then you and I both know that sooner or later they're going to cut back on their social programs and cut back on their budget, just not to bleed to death. So that's not good news for black people, Hispanic people, and poor whites, who benefit the most from government social programs. But that doesn't include the donations that rich people make to nonprofits that also help black people, Hispanic people, and poor white people. All that's going to tighten up, brothers and sisters. Right? So if you think that the middle class is not screwed and the government got to do something, they just can't let so many people suffering. They just got to do something. If you believe in the government of the United States like that, then God bless you. Right? Because that's the only way you're going to make it. Right? But for those of us who don't believe that, then the question has to be, okay, Darrell, then what you doing about it? Where's your game plan? Right? Where's your game plan? Right? What's your game plan? Just like you heard me say on the live stream before, right? I used to, when I was a stockbroker, clients used to come in, or I talk to them on the phone. Yeah, but I think the market's going to crash. All right. You think it's going to crash? Then what plan have you put in place? If that's what you believe, what plan have you put in place if that does happen? Let's talk about that plan. And guess what? They didn't have a plan. And guess what? We don't have a plan. If we had a plan, brothers and sisters, we would know that we have to unite. We have to look out for ourselves. We have to do something for ourselves. We have to go start, either be a forerunner or support one of those forerunners. I'm talking about those that are working towards, more independence than what we have as a people. Who's working on buying farmland for black people? Economicblueprint.org. That's where you need to go, right? So if you're not going to be the forerunner, support. And as I told you before on this live stream, learn how to support first. You can't start off being a leader. You start off being a student and you remain a student all the days of your life. So which means that you'll never be a leader longer than you've been a student if you understand how to play the money game, or the game of life for that matter, to win and not to lose. To win and not to lose. Brothers and sisters, if you like this information, share. Restream, Meerkat. Restream. Hey, I don't even know. Iradius, USA, Living Sheep, thank you. Restream and share, brothers and sisters. We're talking about hashtag black dollars, hashtag black wealth, hashtag black economy. All right? That's what we have to do. That's what we have to understand. Right? As I told you on one of the other streams when I was a stockbroker, I wonder why these people that are multi-millionaires still are still, thank you very much, still getting more money. All right? Those of us who are envious of them, jealous of them, those of us who have the negative programming around financial wealth and prosperity will say it's greed. That plays a certain part. But you and I can get greedy, and greed alone won't do it. Right? Greed alone won't sustain it. Greed alone won't continue to motivate you to get something that you already have in abundance. So those who have in abundance and continue to strive to get more, brothers and sisters, take it from me, it's not just greed. It may not even be greed at all. Okay? But they get it because they're reading Forbes. They're getting it because they're reading Bloomberg that has been talking about gold lately and the crash of the U.S. economy. Right? Bloomberg is an international financial newspaper. All right? So that's what you have to understand. Financial Times is an international financial newspaper. Okay? No, you don't have to be an expert in any one area, but we can't be ignorant in those areas that are vitally important to us winning at the money game. See, that's why those who reach financial freedom and that level of financial success is never, ever, somebody put that in the stream, never by accident. By accident, excuse me. We're talking about freedom. Today is Freedom Friday. Freedom Friday. Another thing I want to bring your attention to, brothers and sisters, get this book. You're only as good of a student, thank you. You're only as good of a student as you are of following instructions. That's the first sign of you being a good student. This is what I used to say. Be an A student and a C leader. Be an A student. Somebody put that in there. Hey, Sister Neon Bay. Somebody put it there. Be a student and a C leader. Too many of us are trying to be we're C students trying to be A leaders. That's not going to work out. So go to DarrellMuhammad.net, click more, click book list, and get this book today, brothers and sisters. Get this book today. Second chance. If you're remotely serious about the money game and knowing the money game, the rules to win at the money game, get this book. I'm about to read it for a second time. All right. I got this book on 11/8/15. I date all my books so I know when I got them. All right. Get this book, brothers and sisters. This will awaken you up. It'll give you an understanding on the time and what must be done on what you're going to do. Now, see, we have to be, what if you can't read? Then learn how to read and ask somebody to read it for you. And then you got two people getting the information and not just one. All right. So not reading is just an obstacle, but it's never an excuse. All right. I don't know if it's on audio, but read and get audio. Right. The truth of the matter is you get both. If you find something that's really that empowering, try to get both, because there's superpower in audio. There's superpower in listening, and there's superpower in reading. The more engaged you are in your experience, you're touching, you're feeling. The book has mass when you hold it. right? The paper, the texture of the paper, the pages, the diagrams and stuff on a book. See, all that helps to ingrain in your mind the information. See, one thing you have to understand, brothers and sisters, there's something that reading does that audio doesn't do. And there's something that audio does that reading doesn't do. Right? In order to win at the money game and play the rules by those that win, they understand the uniqueness of each individual, right, thing, each individual media, each individual investment opportunity. They understand the uniqueness, or they're looking for the uniqueness. They're looking for the intrinsic value, it's called on the stock market, right? The intrinsic value, the value that's inherited in the nature of something. Value that's inherited in the nature of something is its intrinsic value. Intrinsic value. And that's why you have those that understand that, have books, have the same book in audio, right? They might even have it in video, right? Or visuals, right? And they're going to seminars, live events on the same subject matter, right? Because they're trying to get that information so entrenched in the cellular level of their being to where they don't have to think about doing it. It's automatically a habit. Yeah, thank you for being here, Simon. And share. All right, blessings are always better when you have it to share it with somebody else, when you have somebody else to share it with. All right? So that's what you need to do. Share, brothers and sisters. This is a message for our community. This is a message for hashtag Black Dollars, hashtag Black Wealth, hashtag Black Economy. Why? Because there's not enough of us bringing you this kind of core content, this kind of core level of understanding. I think that I've been blessed by God to be able to crystallize things in a very simple, layman way. You know why? Because that's my thinking. I'm not a rocket scientist. I've never been a prodigy. I've never been even close to a genius. So therefore, in order for me to comprehend something, I have to read it, and I have to digest it, and I have to break it down, right, to my level of understanding. And once I do that, that makes it easy to share with other people because I've crystallized it. I've said, okay, well, if that's that, then this is this and that is that. Oh, I see how that goes together. I see how they relate. See, when it comes to winning at the money game, brothers and sisters, we're talking about this. Today is Freedom Friday. The thing about winning at the money game, you have to understand how things are related to each other, right? How things are related to each other, how two separate things are related to each other and or disrelated to each other, right? So that's another one of the rules. How does politics have to do anything with economics? And how does economics have anything to do with politics? The reason why, brothers and sisters, we do not win with politics as black people because we refuse to understand the relationship between economics and politics. We refuse to accept the responsibility that we have to learn to play the game to win. We have to mature in playing the game, and we just got to go out there and play the game to win. Not play the game to love everybody, because that doesn't exist. Not play the game to get along with everybody, because that doesn't exist. See, when you understand the game, you know there's no such thing as everybody liking you. There's no such thing as you liking everybody. See, that's a formula. That's a rule to lose at whatever game you're playing. Because if it's a game, you have opposition. If it's a game, you have an opponent. If it's a game that somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. And you can be civilized. Be respectful of the loser. Because nobody really wants to lose. Nobody truly plays to lose. Because there's no fun in losing. All right. Today is Freedom Friday, brothers and sisters. So that's what we have to do. And you know who drives the politician, the political machine? See, this is what we're not telling you. You know who drives the political machine? It's the business people. It's the multinational corporations of America. Your pharmaceutical companies, right? Your drug companies, right? Your big multinationals, right? Those are the ones that's backing Clinton. Those are the ones that's backing those politicians. That's why Donald Trump is such a threat. And they're going to have to stop Donald Trump, even if it means to kill Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump is not bought by these lobbyists, by these companies, by the Couch Coach brothers, or whatever, however you pronounce their name. Right? See, so once we realize that, and once again, see, if you just come down the financial road to independence and not from to freedom, and not from freedom to the financial peace, then those, we have those among us, our enemies, in the house and outside the house. Coke. All right, good. Coke. Like cocaine, that's about right. But anyway, so you have those inside the house and outside the house, right? That'll derail us because they see you about money. Now you got that freedom aspect to it, but you about money, not about freedom and understanding how money, how finances can assist the freedom. See, so we're coming at it the wrong way. It's the business people. It's the business, the multinational corporations. It's the corporations that back the politicians. And they say whoever pays the piper calls the tunes. See, we know all these things, but we just refuse. I mean, you can just come together with 5 of you all. 5 of us. Put together $5,000 and go to your city councilman who's running for office and say, hey, look, man, I represent a group of citizens that are not going to play this game business as usual. It's time for you and all these other politicians to be accountable to us. Can you explain on how we think and how we should think? I'm going to explain it to you right now, Simon. I'm explaining to you right now. All right? So when that's going to happen? Right? When is that going to happen? When are we going to have our own town hall meetings and invite our city council? I'm talking about those that believe in the political system. I don't believe in it, all right? Even local politics, and all politics starts local. I get all that, but I'm just too disenchanted, all right? But for those of you who believe in that, those of you that only vote because our forefathers died to vote, they're because they thought that was gonna, they bought the lie that was gonna give us freedom. Just like we bought the lie that if you get an education, you'll be free. It's like we bought the lie that if we, if we desegregated, we would be free. Now we bought all these lies. Now there's no more lies left to tell black people. So all what they can do now is plan our death. Because sooner or later, when all the cards have been played and everybody's hand has been played, then we can see what it really is. And now you can go after your enemy. And that's where we are as black people. You understand? That's where we are in black. So those of you who are watching on the replay, if you believe in the political system, then play it to win and stop playing it to lose. Stop playing on default mechanisms. I'm going to vote because our forefather died to vote, stood in line to vote. See, that's a default premise. That's a default mechanism. That's a premise that will never get us freedom. And that was the reason why our forefathers died on every front. That's why they went to war with America, thinking that would get us freedom. And we see what it got us. More of the same. More of the same. Mr. Sharif, nice to see you here. All right. More of the same, brothers and sisters. More of the same. So it's the business people, right? That's why you have to be bigger than yourself, bigger than your family. You got to be big enough for the community so you can go and galvanize those and say, hey, like I said on the stream, my personal goal, just to share some of it with you publicly, is I want to get to a point where I can play the game the way the game should be played, and that's to win. I want to play the game. I want to buy some politicians. Since they for sale, let's have some fun. Let's go out there and be successful. And that's what we can buy us a couple of councilmen, right? Buy us a couple of How can real freedom be explained? Well, you have to crystallize it in your head, Simon. You have to take what I'm giving you, right, as a way to look at it from a different perspective so you can crystallize it for yourself, right? We have to start being more developed and more mature. Take what God has given us, that God has allowed us to receive from wherever it comes from. And then you take it back to God and say, God, how can I use this information? What can I do with this information? How can I use that to take what I have in my heart and manifest it for people can see? The proof is in the pudding. If we can't show it, it doesn't exist. I mean, how is real freedom defined? I don't know. I can't define it for you, brother, or whoever it is, Simon. I can't define it for you. I'm just giving you what my perspective of freedom is, right? I'm giving you my perspective of what freedom is. I'm giving you approach in which, all right, I'm giving you an approach in which you can, crystallize it for yourself. See? Crystallize it for yourself. Too often we as black people, we're asking other people to do everything for us. We're asking other people to think for us. Simon, I can't think for you. Simon, you have to think for yourself. I'm just here to prick your conscience, right? To awaken and raise your level of consciousness up. So now you can go out into the world, go out into the atmosphere and start pulling down the wisdom and knowledge that God has put out there to give you clarity and give you understanding, right? The glasses that I wear, right, to see better is prescription glasses designed on what each one of my eyes need to focus. I can't give you those glasses to you and expect you to see the same exact clarity that I see. I hope that makes sense, right? I can explain to you what I see from my glasses and the clarity thereof so that you can hopefully see what I see from the clarity of your sight. And to the extent it's not clear, take what you can get from what is clear and go out and get clarity for yourself. We have to be a thinker, brothers and sisters. And Earl Nightingale, in an audio he did 50 years ago, called The Strangest Secret, and he asked a very, very successful person at that time, what is the problem with man? And of course, at that time, he wasn't talking about you. But what is the problem with man? And the response from this very, very, very successful person, he said that men do not think. Men do not think. Men do not think. So we have to be thinkers. And once we are thinkers, then now we can start thinking from that which is in our best collective interest. Collective interest. Collective interest. The politicians look out for not just themselves, they look out for those that pay them. Not even their constituents that vote for them. See, your constituents who vote for you. Right? Now, your supporters are who back you financially. Who back you financially. And their answer to those that back them financially, first and foremost. Then they might answer to us, the constituents who vote for them. See, voting only gives them, puts them in position to give them the authority and power to do with those who financially support them, want them to do. It's a game, brothers and sisters. It's a game. Reason why we can't win because we don't understand it's a game. We don't understand the dynamics of the game. We don't understand the moving parts of the game. We don't know who the players are. We don't know nothing. We don't know that there's a coach sitting up there in the sky box on the football team, on the opponent's football team. Right? We don't know that. We don't know they got videotapes that they're beaming down instantly, looking at our offense, looking at our defense. We don't know that. We just on the field thinking that if I'm the strongest, You know, if I'm smarter than everybody else, right? And if I pray all day and God's with me and I shout and running up and down the aisles and I speak in tongues, then that's good enough. That may be good enough, brothers and sisters, but it ain't good enough for the game that we're trying to play. Right? This is an earthly game that we're trying to play. Now we use the spiritual realm to motivate us, to give us the focus, to give us the pure intentions we need to have on what we should do when we win the game. But you need to know the rules to win in order to win at the game. It doesn't require cheating, right? That's a poverty mentality. It doesn't require cheating. It requires you and I understanding how the game is being played and how to play it to win. What's required, what are the rules to win at the money game. And that's just one game. That's just a part of the game of life. All right, so today is Freedom Friday, brothers and sisters. I hope that served some of you all. I hope that sold in your spirit like it sold in mine. Remember, every time the teacher teaches, the more the teacher teaches, the more the teacher learns. So I'm doing this more for me than I am for you. Or I should say I benefit more from this than anybody else. All right. So thanks for being here. Any questions? Simon, now ask your question. All right. Any other questions? Meerkat, you got any questions over there? All right. All right. This money piece is hard on black people. Right. We have been systematically trained not to take financial responsibility for ourselves. So all of us are just mere children. Even those of us who have money, it's not money that we get tapping directly into the marketplace. We always have some benevolent white person, benevolent Jewish person, benevolent somebody else, right? That hook us up to the money, right? And they always stand in between us and the hookup of the money because that's their hookup of the money. We would rather be big financially and a slave than to be smaller financially and free. That's why the goal has to be freedom, not money. Because you and I will never, in our wildest dreams, have as much as Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. And they say they're the richest in the world. Those are only the richest in the world that they want you to know publicly. So you got to understand the game, brothers and sisters. There's those that are richer than Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. They don't want you to know how rich they are. It's not necessary for you to know how rich they are. That's not their motivation. Their motivation is lifestyle. Their motivation is options. Their motivation is power. I don't think we really have connected the dots between politics, economics, and even politics. No, we haven't. Starting with me, starting with you. Right? Because those of us who understand politics or who believe in politics will go out and exercise that belief by organizing people. The same people, the same ones of us who cry out about injustice, those should be the same ones of us that go out and get them to, learn the game to win and get out here and organize, diffuse, and put some pressure on those politicians. Starting local, right? You master where you are first. Then you expand with that level of mastery. Question, you think we should invest in gold instead? Yes. Yes, easy. Go to DarrellMuhammad.net. To the right, you'll see a link for you to open up a free gold account. The account is free, but what you need to do is buy some gold. And all you're doing is you're changing. You're converting the dollars into gold. So it's not like you buying a product, right? It's not like you buying a book, right? And now your money is tied up, they call it in the book. Now you have to go in the book, draw out of the book that which you need to get more money, right? That would be determine the value of the information in the book. So we're not talking about that, those multiple steps to multiply your money. We're talking about just converting your dollar to gold like you would convert a dollar to pesos, right? That's what you have to understand. So you just need to set a goal for yourself. I'm going to convert $100 minimum a month to gold. Convert $100 of U.S. currency to gold a month. You know, you pay more than $100 on your cell phone. You pay more than $100 on your internet and your cable combined, right? And I'm looking to get rid of my cable, see if I can just get internet. But they got you whereas you pay more for internet by itself than cable and internet together. So you got to understand the game and how to play it. I don't know what that means, but I know what that means. All right, beat you, Sister Niambi. What is your website? DarrellMuhammad.net. DarrellMuhammad.net. All right, DarrellMuhammad.net. Put that in there for me, somebody. DarrellMuhammad.net. Open up your free gold account and go ahead and get you a gram of gold. Right? Talk is cheap. If you look up and you don't have a gram of gold by next week, and see, when all we do is talk, that means we're hoping that we can inspire somebody to do what we don't have enough courage to do. Oh, what service is that, Sister Niambi? That's what I need. Because I don't need cable. I don't even turn on the TV. All right? So that's what we do. When we all do it, charter. We don't have that in Houston. See, all we do is talk. Then we're trying to inspire somebody else. Motivate somebody else. Inspire somebody else to do what, for whatever reason we want to give, we're not doing it. And that has to stop. That's why I say, if you're serious, you want to take action, go to DarrellMuhammad.net so you can get on the list, because we're going to put our money where our mouth is. See, you got to understand, in the money game, one of the tests that they use to separate everybody else from the few that they're looking for is money. They put a price tag on it because they don't want everybody. They don't want those that say, ooh, that's a lot of money. Ooh, Darrell just trying to make some money off of us. You see, people that think like that, so that's why they put a price tag on stuff. That's why they put that out front. It costs $1,500, $14.97. Oh man, shoot, just for some books and tapes? Oh man, see, I knew it. I knew if I came to this free real estate seminar, I told you they was gonna try to sell something. That's ignorance. When somebody says that, I say, welcome to America. And how long have you been here? I am on your website. Where do you create it? Brother, I'm not going to give you all that information. That's too much information. An entrepreneur and those who's going to win at the money game only ask and require and look for somebody to point them in the right direction. They figure the rest out on their own. You got it? This boot camp style, brothers and sisters. This not employee environment where every time you have a question, you ask your manager for help. Every time you ask your question, no. We'll never be a free person. We'll never be free. Talking about Freedom Friday. Thank you, Brother Simon, whoever Simon is. We'll never be free. As the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, looking for somebody else to do for us what we can get up and go do for ourselves. See, don't be so quick to ask for help. Believe enough in yourself. Believe enough in your God that if you call on yourself and call on him to the extent that you don't have what you need readily at your fingertips, that he will show you how to get it. That you can get it on your own. Nobody come is going to spoon feed us freedom. That's why we not free. We looking for the government to help us. And why don't Shaq got all that money? And why don't Shaq give us some money? All right? Who said a phone number? I didn't say nothing about no phone number. Oh, from the phone? Hey, brother, figure it out. You just didn't hear me, Simon? That message was for you. But it can probably benefit others who are watching. See, I'm just telling you what my experience has been, and I can only teach you. Vision is not sight. Exactly. I can only teach you from experience and truth what I've lived. right? And I just ask God to point me in the direction, and I will do the rest. I'll do all I can do. And as you bring people, circumstances, events into my life, then I will believe in myself and believe in you and listen for your guidance through people, through life, through circumstances to continue me down the path. All right? I don't just get started and be quick to ask somebody for help. So we'll never be free with that high degree of dependency. Yes, we should demand more. Well, okay. All right. So we'll never be free demanding from somebody else what we have not proved that we're willing to do for ourselves. You know, and I'll close with this, and I'm just trying to buy some time as you guys ask more questions. Brothers and sisters, you have Yahoo, Google, Bing. You have the Yahoo boys who became multi-millionaire, 100 millionaires. You have what's that? Google, who they became 100 millionaires. Why? Because they put together a place where you and I can come to ask any question that we have. Might not get the right answer, but you'll get an answer. Now here these people have become multi-millionaires because they give answers to people. So that means if we don't... All right. Periscope went out. I guess I ran out of space. It was telling me I was running out of space. So that's what happened with that. So brothers and sisters on Meerkat, let me shut it down. I want to be fair to them, but hopefully you got the message. So I'm going to get back with them, and we're going to do it here. All right, on my phone. So if you want to watch the rest of this, go to Periscope because that's where we need to be. All right. So brothers and sisters, DarrellMuhammad.net. Today is Friday, Freedom Friday. We might see you on the weekend, probably not, but we will see you, God willing, on Monday. So until then, see you at the top, not from the top, because you, your family, and hashtag black dollars, hashtag black economy, hashtag black wealth deserves your very best. Thank you for being